trading at premium to every other emerging market in the world. Compared to our next door neighbor, China, we are trading at 3 times higher valuation. And these valuations are optimistically pricing in very good budget, big bang reforms in next 100 days, which will sustain India's.
Sure. Two questions, Nilesh. One is on the domestic investors, both direct investors, HNIs, and investors into mutual funds. Of course, what we picked up from some of the mutual fund distributors is in some funds. I don't know if this is an industry-wide phenomena. You can confirm that some funds have been seeing higher inflows in the past 1 or 2 weeks. Is that do you see some kind of traction coming into funds in terms of people allocating more money, taking like a tactical 1 month kind of a bet on markets in the past few days? Second is, in general, what is your sense on how much money or savvy investors waiting in the wings just to avoid this election risk? And do you think that money with this kind of victory, if it happens, will come back in a rush to the markets over the next week and month?
So, Mahalakshmi, predicting inflows will be like 5 blind men trying to predict elephant. But let me give some pointers. If we look at between FY21 to FY23 over 3 years, 21, 22, and 23, from the households, financial allocation towards mutual fund was about 4 lakh crore. Equity and other instruments, including corporate debentures and fixed deposit, was about 2 lakh crore. Against that, they put 9 lakh crore in currency notes. Now, between 21 to 23, Indian markets had a dream run. They delivered fantastic return, and yet people putting money in currency notes in their matrices, in their pockets, in their burnie were far more than what they invested into mutual funds and equity. There is underweight to Indian equity, including mutual funds in investors' portfolio, whether they are retail, whether they are HNI, by and large. There will be always few exceptions. Second, within mutual fund, we are seeing SIP culture taking off. This is our 401k equivalent in US. Every month, month after month, various number of people are putting in SIP regularly. But because of that flows, we have also built a large base of about 30-35 lakh crore. And some people are doing profit booking. SIP flows keeps on coming regularly. Whenever there is a profit booking for some purpose, like buying house, buying car, going on a vacation, we see reduction in flows. And when that reduction stops, we suddenly see increase in flows. In last 2 months, April as well as May, we have seen very less redemption and hence higher inflows into equity mutual funds.
Fair enough. And what is your sense on foreign flows? Because, there is some people feel that this, because Chinese markets are nearly bottoming out, at least that is the sense that a lot of investors are echoing. There is this sell India, buy China kind of trade that has also been happening. With this kind of election verdict, do you see a lot more foreign investors waiting in the wings, getting more confidence about policy continuity, coming back in again in a rush? Will there be a sense of FOMO? Is there money that was waiting not to participate that will come in?
So while what you mentioned, there is sell India, buy China kind of trade happening in certain counters, I believe most investors, most large reputed investors have positioned for both China and India in their portfolio. From being part of emerging market, now there is China, there is India, and then there is emerging market. If we can ensure that our weightages MSCI emerging market index continue to rise, for example, if Korea gets upgraded from MSCI emerging market index into developed market, our weightage consequently will go up by 1 percentage point. If HDFC Bank gets included at 100% weightage instead of 50%, that's another 1% weight. If we increase our weight, there's no way foreigners will ignore India with this kind of mandate and the reforms we are taking. Do remember that they have enough money to allocate between China and India together.
Sure. And as far as domestic flows are concerned, Nilesh, in the month of March, we had this scare around, valuations and in small caps, mid caps, and we had the stress test and all that. There was just 1 month of marginal outflows from small cap funds. But after that, it's all, back to the same thing. So there is money coming back into small cap funds. Going forward, do you see a continuation of the small cap rally? I mean, there's some kind of frenzy that is still built in, and it just doesn't go away. With this government coming in, positivity continuing, do you see the same frenzy continuing? What will stop this?
So Alan Greenspan, the legendary US Fed chairman, mentioned that it is always difficult to predict bubble. It's much better to clean up after bubble has busted. Another legendary investor mentioned that markets can remain irrational more than you can remain solvent. We as fund manager can take a call that this looks expensive relative to historical valuation. This looks expensive relative to its peer group globally. This looks expensive relative to what kind of earnings this looks expensive relative to what kind of earnings swing between undervaluation to overvaluation. So it's always difficult to predict where will the froth clear up, where will the bubble bust. I do admit that Indian investors have matured a lot. Earlier, when market used to correct, there used to be even we used to go and tell them, "Don't worry, long-term India story is good." Nowadays, they call us up and say that, "Don't worry, long-term India growth story is good." We have matured investors, we have momentum investors, we have experienced traders, we have inexperienced traders. And I think this battle will continue. I hope and pray that we continue to deliver on growth, governance, and green transformation of India. FY24, for the first time in many years, I have seen that actual earnings delivery is more than what was estimated at the beginning of FY24. If we can maintain that trend, then the corrections will be far short lived, and every correction will be a great opportunity to buy as long as you have enough time horizon.
Right. Nilesh, you said you don't want to predict the markets, and nobody who is a wise investor in the markets has made money just predicting markets and placing bets. But still, I'll ask you this question. There's this saying that we all know that buy on rumor and sell on news. This is somehow like the market has been discounting a good victory, except for the last few days. Before that, from May 9th onwards, there was a huge run in the markets. So when the verdict comes out on Tuesday, I mean, I'm not even talking about the exit polls or anything. I'm not even talking about the exit polls. When the verdict comes out on Tuesday, will the market start to discount, and anticipate and worry about what is the next thing that is going to come in the budget? Because there is a little bit of trepidation
They do believe in the maxim of buy on rumor, sell on news. But investors who are coming to India is not buying on the rumor of just result. They are buying for the journey of fifth largest economy becoming third largest economy and narrowing the gap vis-a-vis top two economies over next 10, 15 years. That news is not yet going to come in 2024. That's going to probably come in 2030, 35, 40, whatever the time frame. So for those guys, every correction is going to be an opportunity to invest. Moment they say a compelling opportunity, they will invest. From a trader's point of view, again, if you look at buy on rumor, sell on news, then many traders have already lightened their position. In fact, if you believe one of the newspaper report, some FPIs on the trading side have been on the short. The retail Indian seems to be on the long side in the derivatives market. Now, do remember the derivative is just a tail which is wagging the dog. The dog is totally different. But
Right.
there might be a short covering from FPIs. And this is again from a trading point of view, so it's not going to impact market on a material basis. We are just talking about the tail, not the dog. Investors are here for Viksit Bharat. They are not here for this election alone.
Sure. Thank you so much. That's all we have time for. Nilesh, thank you so much for
Thank
joining
you.
us on a Saturday evening. Thank you. Over to you, Shweta.
At Mahalakshmi, always so good to get a perspective from Mr. Nilesh Shah. Let's quickly do a recap of the numbers right now. So far, we've had numbers from Gujarat where it's looking like a clean sweep. We've had numbers from Madhya Pradesh. We've seen numbers from Andhra Pradesh. So far, it's looking like a clean sweep for the BJP in the substantial gains for the BJP in the southern states, a clean sweep for the BJP in Gujarat. All of these states are very, very crucial for the BJP to meet its tally for 2019 or to even surpass it. Let me go back to Sonal in Bombay. Sonal, what do you have for us?
All right, Shweta, we're just crunching in all the numbers. A lot of them have already come in, and now we're waiting for the other big states as well. Can't wait for UP numbers to come in. Can't wait for Delhi as well. But in the meanwhile, let me go to Bodhi, and we were discussing some of these numbers at this point. Bodhi, as we are looking at, if you look at the range that we've got in some of the states, some go from 2 to 7. In exit polls, when you look at a range as wide as that, what does that indicate? Does that mean that there could be more changes are expected and the numbers could be well different in the final tally? Because that tells you that even the pollsters were divided. They don't know how to take it.
Yeah. So if you look at Rajasthan, for instance, I think we've given the Network 18 exit poll gives 2 to 7 in Rajasthan. So there's a big difference between 2 to 7. 2 is more or less sweep for the BJP.
Yeah.
7 is a reasonably close
Yes.
contest. See what the final
But
exit
West
poll.
Bengal figures are very, very early. It's just phase 1 to 3. So
That's
just
right,
10 of the 46, like West
That,
Bengal.
that's
But
right.
also talking about West Bengal, let's spend some time on that, Bodhi, next. West Bengal, by far, clearly the state that voted in all phases,
That's right.
the state that saw maximum violence, including this morning where some EVM machines were found in a pond. So this state is, a lot of people are saying that TMC, it will be a close match, but what happens in West Bengal now could decide the fate of TMC later as well.
That's right. So it depends on how well the BJP does. I think the BJP will clearly pick up seats. Last time it was out of the 42 seats, it was 22 TMC, 18 BJP, and 2 for the Congress. I think BJP will clearly gain. Be a surprise if it doesn't. But the question is whether the gain is 4-5 or whether, as the BJP, some of the sources, top leaders of the BJP have been saying that they will win in excess of 13 in Bengal. If that is so, if they win more than 30, if it is a sweeping victory, then even though the TMC has more than 200 MLAs in the assembly, the colleagues mentioned on the show, the TMC government, the anti-incumbency is largely on account of a host of corruption charges. There's been a scam practically in every sector, with physical with cash being recovered and so on and so forth. So that is a major anti-incumbency factor.
But when it comes to Bengal, isn't there a seat-to-seat fight? It's actually one of those states where you can't make a sweeping comment on this factor. Every seat, there is a very, very close contest. There is no one big factor governing the whole state. That's why the numbers right now don't give you a full picture, because it's just phase three phases.
So I think as we move into the later phases, into the phase today, we are moving into the areas where it's stronger, where the TMC is stronger. So we'll have to see what what the final outcome is. I'd also say that that the BJP, see, there is the overarching popularity of Mr. Modi. If there was an assembly election in Bengal, that might be quite different, right? But certainly the BJP will make gains. The question is how much are the gains?
Right.
Because it seems from the big picture there will be some minor losses in Rajasthan and possibly some minor losses in Maharashtra. If our figure, if the Network 18 figure of 33, if I'm not mistaken, for the NDA in Maharashtra, 30 or 35 for the NDA, if that is the final number, then I think they'll be very happy.
They will be.
They would take 35 in Maharashtra. NDA would take 35 in Maharashtra, and the BJP will take the higher number for Maharashtra because there are a lot of apprehension in Maharashtra.
Right.
Only minor losses in Maharashtra.
Let's toss back to Delhi and Shweta. Also, with our guests, I think when it comes to West Bengal, we've got to look at the Muslim voters across constituencies in West Bengal. Like we said, West Bengal is very closely watched. It is also one of the states where every seat has to be looked at independently.
Absolutely.
And but if there's one trend that remains overall, it is the Muslim factor.
Absolutely, Sonal. We will be talking about the Muslim factor and the Mahila factor shortly, but let's quickly take a look at the numbers coming in for Delhi. For Delhi, the BJP-led NDA is looking at a loss of 1 to 2 seats. We are looking at a range of between 5 to 7 seats. Remember, in 2019, it was a clean sweep for the BJP in Delhi, and we're looking at the India Alliance gaining between 0 to 2 seats. Brajesh ji, Aam Aadmi Party's sympathy factor, is that what is leading to these exit poll results?
ट्रेंड अगर आप देखें एग्जिट पोल जो रिफ्लेक्ट कर रहे हैं, अगर बीजेपी की रेंज 5 to 7 है और इंडिया की 0 to 2 है, इट मींस कि कहीं ना कहीं बीजेपी शायद 1 या 2 सीट लूज कर रही है। लेकिन अगर आप अभी भी, लेकिन बीजेपी का अगर आप देखें, बीजेपी ये मानने को तैयार नहीं है कि वह एक भी सीट लूज करने जा रही है। लेकिन अगर मान लेते हैं कि अगर ये 5 to 7 की रेंज में बीजेपी 5 पर ही सिमट जाती है और 2 सीट जो है इंडिया अलायंस के खाते में जाती है, इंडिया अलायंस के खाते में, तो फिर ये मानना पड़ेगा कि कुछ असर जो है रहा होगा। लेकिन ये सिर्फ केजरीवाल के फेवर में कोई सिंपैथी वे वो मुझे नहीं लगता कि शायद ये बहुत ज्यादा इस तरीके से जो अपने कुछ कैंडिडेट्स हैं उनके खिलाफ भी काफी एक तरह से गुस्सा था। सीटों को लेकर शायद ये था कि कहा जा रहा था कि चेंज कर देना चाहिए, वो फैक्टर भी अड़ सकता है। लेकिन आप देखें रेंज जो है, हो सकता है कि बीजेपी साथ ही साथ अपने पास रिटेन भी कर ले, क्योंकि आप रेंज देखें 5 to 7 है, 0 to 2 है। तो ये जो है हो सकता है कि अगर एक सीट कोई निकले, जो कि कहा जा रहा था कहीं एक सीट शायद इस बार बीजेपी लूज कर जाए, तो उस 0 to 2 के रेंज में देख सकता है।
बीजेपी ने इस बार सारे अपनी सिटिंग एमपीज चेंज किए मनोज तिवारी जी को छोड़कर, क्योंकि देयर वाज एन एंगर अगेंस्ट द सिटिंग एमपीज। एंड इस बार बांसुरी स्वराज जी का डेब्यू है न्यू दिल्ली कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसी से। सो जो ये सीटें 1 या 2 सीट जो बीजेपी हार रही है, वो कौन सी सीटें हो सकती है आपके हिसाब से?
देखिए, आपने जैसे कि खुद कहा कि आपने 6 चेंज कर दिए, एक जो है सो आपने रिटेन किया
जी।
अब वह जिसको रिटेन किया उनके खिलाफ एंटी इनकम्बेंसी तो नहीं है। कहना मुश्किल है कि कौन सी सीट, लेकिन अगर ये होगा तो हो सकता है आउटर की सीट हो सकती है। वहां का जो पॉपुलेशन प्रोफाइल है, वोटर्स प्रोफाइल है, वो थोड़ा सा जो है जो इंडिया अलायंस है उसको शूट करता है। जो माइनॉरिटी लेबर जो क्लास है, जो बड़ा वोटिंग ब्लॉक है, शायद वो अगर ये शिफ्ट होता है तो उसकी वजह से होगा। मुझे लगता है कि और कोई दूसरा फैक्टर नहीं है।
We also have numbers coming in for Assam, Brajesh ji. We are looking at NDA 10 to 13 seats and India Alliance 2 to 5. And we have with us Gaurav Chaudhary. Gaurav, let me talk to you about your home state. You know, we saw a very interesting campaign in Assam. There is CAA, there is this whole reservation debate that was made a lot of headlines in Assam. So are you looking, I mean, how are you looking at these numbers?
So these are numbers that are on expected lines, and it is what the interesting thing, however, would be if the BJP ends up getting BJP's own estimates would, if you speak to any leader in the state, they would say that BJP is going to end up winning 11 seats. and 10 seats, and two to the allies, one to AGP and one to UPPL. Uh, Two seats are likely to go to the Congress. This is what the talk is in the state of Assam. The interesting thing, however, would be which are the seats that the Congress is going to win. If the Congress is going to win Dhubri, that could mark a major pivot in the state politics, because that would mean that Badaruddin would have lost. Badaruddin losing would mean that the Bengali Muslim community, which is generally identified as representative of the migrant Muslim community, would have started gravitating back towards the Congress, which again kind of queers the pitch for Congress in state politics, because if the Congress starts getting identified with the Bengali Muslim or the migrant Muslim community, then it consolidates the position for the BJP to actually, consolidate further within the Hindu vote bank. The other thing that the seat that to watch out for is what happens to Gaurav Gogoi. Gaurav Gogoi does
Yeah.
not have his own seat now. Koliawar used to be his family's pocket borough. After the delimitation of the seats, that constituency does not exist any longer. So he moved to an adjacent constituency, a neighboring constituency, Jorhat. In Jorhat, there is a sitting BJP MP, Topam Gogoi, who is a form, who is a, he has risen through the ranks within the BJP in the state. I visited that constituency during the early part of the election campaign. To be fair, Gaurav actually gave a very strong fight, put up a very strong fight. That said, however, one thing that he did not, and the the Congress party establishment did not understand or did not expect or was not prepared for, was the BJP's election machinery and the way they micromanage. So it is now, if you speak to anyone in that constituency or anyone in the state, with both with if Gaurav Gogoi ends up losing this Lok Sabha election, what happens to him, given the fact that Congress, going by the trends of the exit polls now, is not going to do that well now? So there are two distinct trends. One, what happens to Badaruddin, AIUDF, if Badaruddin ends up losing Dhubri and Congress ends up winning, then it means that the migrant Muslim community is gravitating back towards the Congress, which is not really good news for the Congress, because then it enables the BJP to further consolidate the Assamese Hindu vote bank. And two, what happens to Gaurav Gogoi? If Gaurav Gogoi ends up losing, then it means Congress has to re-establish itself in a very different manner, so far as central politics from Assam is concerned. Shweta?
From Dibrugarh, a former chief minister and union minister, there's a lot at stake for him as well.
That's true. So, I'll tell you, there are about 16 lakh votes in Dibrugarh. 73%, 74% polling took place. There is a new young emerging politician, Lurin Jyoti Gogoi, who actually came out from the anti-CA movement in 2019. He has contested against Sonowal, so ex-chief minister who has risen from the student politics, is now a union minister, very close to and very, very well regarded within the BJP central leadership. I don't. Lurin Jyoti again put up a very
Right.
good fight,
Right.
but is likely to dislodge Sonowal.
Right. Thank you so much for that, Gaurav. Sonal, over to you. Let's to take this conversation forward.
Yeah, thanks for that, Shweta. And let's shift our focus for a little bit on Delhi. Now, an interesting statistic about Delhi is that from 1952 back then, Delhi has been a sort of a bellwether state, meaning whoever wins maximum votes or maximum seats in Delhi ends up forming government in the center. Now, this trend has been going on from 1952. And if these exit polls are right, we keep putting in that underlying asterisk over there. If these exit polls are right, then the same result is going to happen this time around as well. But why were people looking at the Delhi contest so keenly? Because for the first time, we saw the alliance of Aam Aadmi Party and Congress come together. An alliance which actually played out well on ground. So what exactly will be the result here is to be watched very carefully. BJP, of course, said that all 7 will go to them like last time around, but our exit polls are saying that about 2 seats could go to the Aam Aadmi Party and Congress alliance over there. Brijesh ji, if he's with us, Brijesh ji थोड़ा समझाएं कि ये अलायंस अगर वर्कआउट कर जाती है, नंबर्स में देखिए खैर तो ओवरऑल दिल्ली का कुछ ज्यादा रेलेवेंस नहीं है, 7 ही सीट है, लेकिन जो दिल्ली में होता है वो सेंटर में और ओवरऑल इंडिया का मूड डिपेक्ट करता है, ये हमें हमेशा पता चला है. तो इसके ऊपर आप क्या टिप्पणी करेंगे? Okay, I'm told Brijesh is not there with us. Do we have Abhijit? Okay. All right. So I will have to go back to Bodhi and scratch his brains on this one.
So while
Bodhi, yeah.
yeah. So I don't claim to be Delhi
Yeah.
on Delhi politics, but just a quick this thing. Quick, if you look at the data for 2019, the BJP won had an overwhelming plurality when it came to the votes. If you add up the AAP vote and the Congress vote, it was less than, it was about 33%. The BJP had between 53 to 60% of the votes in all the 7 constituencies in Delhi. So even the combined AAP and Congress had a mountain to climb when it came to just the extent of the lead which the BJP had.
Yeah.
So if they've actually managed to pick up 1 seat or 2 seats, if we look at the outer limit of the exit poll, that's a decent comeback. By the way, the same situation in Haryana, the next state where the BJP had a massive lead and where Congress seems to be making some gains.
Right. So if you look at Haryana also over there, overall 10 seats, BJP about getting 5 to 7 of them, Congress getting about 3 to 5, India Alliance, of course, overall getting 3 to 5 as well. But Haryana again was a state where it was very closely fought. It wasn't a foregone conclusion.
Haryana is a case where the BJP again swept in 2014, swept in 2019. This time, so there it shows some of the narrative which has been picked up in the media reports, like Agni, like the Agniveer, unemployment, etc., has actually worked on the ground to some extent. Haryana is more or less a straight Congress to BJP fight, and if these results are true, if let's say the BJP wins 6 and the Congress 4, there's I think 1 AAP candidate by the way in one place. Sorry, my earpiece has disappeared, but I'll continue. Nonetheless, I think that would indicate a fight. It would indicate some kind of a revival for the Congress.
For both Delhi and Haryana, that seems to be a trend. But hold that thought, Bodhi, because I'm told Mahalakshmi has another guest with her. Let's toss across to her. ML, it's over to you.
Hi, thank you so much, Sonal. We have with us Vikas Kimani from Carnelian Asset Management. Vikas, thank you so much for spending the time today.
Hi, Mahalakshmi. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Your first thoughts? Your first thoughts on the exit poll, the NDA and BJP. Was the market expecting this? At least in the last few days, it looked like the market was getting a little bit nervous. What was your own expectation? What was the market expectation?
Matter much. I think you might see a little bit of short covering happening for the people who went short in the in last few days, expecting that there might be some sort of nervousness. Other than that, I don't see major change because it's vote for continuity. It's for So I don't see major change happening. Of course, for next 1 or 2 days till the time government felt you can be positive, negative, positive. There could be positive, sort of momentum. But other than that, I think probably market will be back to normal in next 4 or 5 days. That's how I think.
So in the next few days, of course, Monday will be crucial because after this Monday, the markets will react to Monday, and then it will react on Tuesday to the actual outcome. How much do you think how much move do you think can be triggered because of these shorts getting covered?
I think probably, very hard to call out, but I don't think it's a very lot. But I think 2, 3, 4% kind of movement can be there. part between Monday and Tuesday, by the time actual results come out, because they are still exit polls. So we'll have to wait out for the real results. But broadly, the trend is clear. I think market has except last few weeks, a little bit of chatter was there on the negativity side, but
Right.
by and large, market is expecting the continuity.
Right. Even in terms of, the last 1 month, of course, there was a rally from, May 9th to May 26th or so, when the market was like almost every day going up and also touched a fresh high. But that apart, right from the time that the election started, the mood was sort of, there was initially, because of the voter turnout concerns, etc., the market was sort of, not very, was slightly underwhelmed. Uh, with this kind of victory, do you see a huge rally, like a 5-10% rally could happen over the next 1 week?
I mean, very hard to call out. I don't know whether a little steep, because I think
Yeah.
market has been in continuity. I would say to the extent of short covering, 2 to 5% kind
Okay.
of rally could be possible, and that can't be ruled out. It really depends on what kind of follow through buying comes from the foreigners who've been waiting on sidelines. Also, what kind of follow through buying comes people who've been waiting on sidelines. But I do believe that after initial reaction, market will be back to normal. We might see 2 to 5% kind of rally.
Exactly what I meant to ask you, that what kind of, because in the last 1 month or so, India has also seen major outflows in terms of foreign flows, and then there is also talk that a lot of HNIs have been waiting on the sidelines, and because that is something that usually happens, that people avoid, at least certain amount of money avoids this kind of heightened event risk. What will you be able to put some, give us some sense of what kind of quantum of money or follow through buying can actually come in over the next 1 month?
I don't know about next 1 month, to be very frank, Maharashtra, but I know that second half of this year I expect very, very significant buying, because two things are happening. Fed rates are expected to come down. The rate cut cycle is expected to begin, and that always coincides, or that always leads to flow towards emerging markets, and which will also include India. And I think this positive vote might also uh, boost the confidence and reduce the uncertainty around the election outcome, which might be there in foreigners' mind. So combination of these two could lead to significant inflows in next 6 to 12 months. 1 month is a too short period of time to call out, because people would sit back and then decide their location, which are there from long term perspective. So, but I would trend would is something I would expect to be very, very significantly positive.
One last question, Vikas. I was just talking to Nilesh Shah from Kotak just before you. The question is, I mean, in the last 2 months or so, this, sell India, buy China kind of trade has been playing out. With this kind of outcome, do you see it strengthens the case for India? Will that kind of trade become less attractive?
No, I think, see, buy China was a more tactical short-term buy. Nobody's convinced on China from long-term perspective. The only reason why allocation towards China happened because it was a very, very cheap market from a valuation standpoint of view. And that's the reason if you speak to people who've been allocating money to China, they've been saying it's a short-term, 10-15% kind of trade. And that is what they're playing out. But India's structural story, everybody is convinced. And I think there'll be more and more flow coming towards that. India has, of course, disproportionately benefited from additional allocation towards India from China some time ago, which partly reversed. But I don't think anybody doubts India growth story and has doubted India growth story. So the conviction around India growth story is very, very high. And I think overall allocation towards emerging market increasing once the emerging rate cut cycle begins. And secondly, India's share, in my opinion, is bound to go up. The only argument some of the people can make against India is about bit of a valuation. But I think that, in my opinion, is not a very strong argument, because once the kind of growth which is expected to continue, I think India will deliver superior returns as compared to any market. And by the way, India has been one of the best performing markets in dollar terms across the globe for last 20 years. So I see, this continuing to remain very, very positive, and more money will come towards India.
Sure. Thank you so much. That's all we have time for.
Pleasure.
Vikas, thank you so much for joining this Saturday evening. Over to you, Shweta.
Thank you, ML, for getting us those voices from the markets on a Saturday night on the day of exit poll results. Mondays, the markets are going to open and they are going to take their cues from these numbers coming in. Very, very crucial set of numbers because exit poll data typically indicates what the final tally could look like. Over the years, exit pollsters have become very sophisticated. In fact, in 2019, pollsters got it bang on. And uh, a very, very substantial set of numbers. And we've seen a whole lot of numbers come in this evening. And of course, we're waiting for the final count. But let's begin with Tamil Nadu. 39 seats, a very, very crucial state for the BJP to make inroads into. We have to remember that Narendra Modi has been going out and saying that up ki bar 400 par. For that 400 par, the southern states are very, very important. So there we have it, 39 seats in total for Tamil Nadu, in which the India Alliance is looking at 36 to 39 seats. Now let's move on to Karnataka, 28 seats. NDA is looking at 23 to 26 seats in Karnataka. Congress 3 to 7. It seems like it's a resurgence of the BJP in the southern states. NDA once again 23 to 26, Congress 3 to 7. Now we're going to move on to the state of Kerala, a very important state again for the BJP. And this time around, it's actually hoping to open its account. And from the exit poll numbers, it looks like NDA is going to get 1 to 3 seats in Kerala. Let's 15 to 18 seats for the UDF and LDF 2 to 5 seats, NDA 1 to 3 seats. Let's move on now to the state of Andhra Pradesh. Again, very crucial state, NDA 19 to 22, YSRCP 5 to 8, and India 0. We have to remember that, again, this entire southern belt is a very, very crucial belt for the BJP. Again, we have Andhra numbers right here for you. And now we are moving on to Telangana. Telangana, we are looking at 7 to 10 seats for the BJP, Congress 5 to 8, BRS 2 to 5. That's the number that we are looking at. So overarchingly, the BJP is looking at making gains in the southern belt. It is looking at making gains in the southern belt, which was a very crucial number for the BJP. Maharashtra, of the 48 of the 48 seats, 32 to 35 of NDA and 15 to 18 of the India Alliance. That's the number that we have at the moment. Let's take a look at again at Maharashtra. NDA 32 to 35, India 15 to 18. Again, a complicated state, a khichdi state. Madhya Pradesh, a BJP bastion, 26 to 29 seats. Congress is looking at 0 to 3 seats. There are in total 29 seats. This time around, it's looking once again, a clean sweep for the BJP. Let's move on now to the state of Rajasthan, 25 seats. 18 to 23 in BJP, India 2 to 7. This is where the BJP is looking at losing from its 2019 tally. A lot of it has to do with a relatively weaker leadership within the state, and of course then there is the Gehlot factor which the BJP has to counter. Let's move on to Haryana. 10 seats in total. BJP is looking at winning 5 to 7. India Alliance 3 to 5. India Alliance is looking at winning 3 to 5 seats. Let's get you the next set of numbers coming in. Let's look at the state of Assam. 14 seats, 10 to 13 for the NDA and 2 to 5 for the India Alliance. 2 to 5 for the India Alliance right over there. Let's move on now to the next state that we have. And for others, there is 0 to 1. We have 0 to 1. UP, the big number coming in is UP, and I also have my colleague Aman Sharma joining me. Aman, why don't we get you mic'd up and let's get you on. Let's look at the UP numbers. NDA 68 to 71. Now that is huge. 68 to 71 seats for the NDA. India Alliance 9 to 12. That's huge. That's a huge number. The state of UP is very, very crucial. Delhi, 7 seats, 5 to 7 for the BJP. India, 0 to 2. India is looking at 0 to 2. So BJP is looking at actually making some losses in Delhi. Let's look at Himachal Pradesh. It's a clean sweep. That's the number coming in. BJP 4 seats. Kangana Ranaut is contesting from Himachal. Seems like she will be coming to the parliament as a Lok Sabha MP. Let's look at Uttarakhand. 5 seats. BJP again looking at making a clean sweep. BJP looking at making a clean sweep in Uttarakhand. With that, I'll hand it back to Mahalakshmi in our Bombay studio. Over to you, ML.
Thank you so much, Shweta. We have with us another guest, Sushil Kedia. Sushil, thank you so much for taking time out this evening.
Thank you so much for having me on your show.
Sushil, first reaction, you were the most bullish about the BJP victory. Looks like whatever you were predicting last week in the show is coming true. What's your sense?
See, the fact is, we Indians have become much smarter. Not too long ago, until 10 years ago, the vast majority of last minute votes on a bottle of cheap rum or a bicycle or sometimes even on a laptop. So there was so much of under-servicing by governance in this nation that BJP came and created such a market share within the electoral minds of actually providing the governance to the last mile that was not being given for such a long time. Otherwise, why would a human being cast his vote only on one bottle of cheap rum? So that era having gone, and when people are seeing that their self-interest lies in voting responsibly, and that self-interest is getting fulfilled 24 by 7, 365 days a year. So naturally, that's just addressing the very basics created for a Yug Parivartan kind of a situation. Because governance was truly, truly not a provided service. It was only lip service. And BJP came in and did the basics. I'm not a BJP party worker. I'm a pure businessman who's 24 by 7 focused on enhancing returns for my clients. So it was in a Yug Parivartan-like feeling necessary that people would go and vote for their self-interest and provide a Yug Purush mandate, voting in Narendra Damodar Das Modi a third time. So fundamentally, what is happening in India now and how Indians are behaving and responding to these changing fundamentals is very, very consistent with very rational behavior. So if now NDA is expected through the exit polls to kiss close to 380, and the nature of any kind of population estimates out of a sampling exercise, that's what pollstering is or psephology is, tends to have errors of central tendency. Away from the extremas, most pollsters, due to the limitations of statistical methods, will tend to make conservative estimates, which is what is visible in the last 4, 5, 6 elections, that the winning side was underestimated in each of the elections, in each of the exit polls. That's a shortcoming, or maybe let's call it that's the strength of statistical estimations. So 380 is what the pollsters are broadly claiming today. Who knows? The people would have gone out and given Narendra Damodar Das Modi a 400 plus mandate also, which we will discover only on Tuesday, though maybe he hedged or it was actually his electoral strategy that he took the entire opposition on the wrong foot. So I think, very good
Okay, so
work.
so you're saying, I mean, we already have very bullish outcome from the exit results. You're saying it could be even better on Tuesday. So how is the market going to react to it? Will it be on upper circuit on Monday?
See, I don't want to get into euphemisms. A circuit on the index will just create, further spillover into next days or create a sense of euphoria. So I don't want to make casts. But the very fact that I kept on arguing with you in our prior discussions, the time to take risk is now. And those who were scared or hedged or underbought, they will rush in and will take profits, whether we start taking them for Tuesday and spread it into Wednesday, Thursday, we'll see. There is euphoria going to be hitting the markets, tomorrow itself. Lena nahi milega. And whether on Tuesday, how the market is positioned tomorrow. So I don't want to get so microscopic. Moti moti baat kare. I am glad the way
नहीं, but
I
इस
want.
समय मोटी मोटी बात ट्रेडर्स को ये चाहिए कि अगले हफ्ते क्या होने वाला है और किस तरह से पोजीशन करें. So what is your sense? Give us some advice and your view for next week. Of course, after that, next week, we are going to talk about, the next month and the next year. But right now, for the next week.
So see, philosophies don't change overnight. My market response based on how aggressive market gets on Monday may change. Philosophy is buy on anticipation and take the cash when the anticipation works right. So जिन लोगों ने लिया नहीं, जो underbought है, वो लोग उछलेंगे कूदेंगे. हमको थोड़े उनके साथ participate करना. We are loaded up to our chin, and I'll never go up to my nose.
So, but market's response to this will be a rally on Monday, Tuesday.
Explosion.
What is explosion? Define explosion. 5%. Because I mean, upper circuit is a distant memory. You and me have seen this, in 2008 in other markets, but in the last few years, upper circuit on the index, I don't even remember when it happened last.
See, you cannot rule out an upper circuit, but it's better not to expect it. And since majority of the bets everyone has on stocks, so there will be so many stocks that through the next week may go up 30%. So our attention is focused on those. And even stocks that I expect are going to be getting into a state of weakness over the next 3 months or next 6 months, they will also get whipped up. So the job left now is to figure out and keep an eye on the larger trends over the next 3 months and avoid pockets that are already euphoric and where there may be a final bull trap. And so we will continue to back where the relative margin of safety was very high, stocks jo zyada chale nahi the. We'll continue to, if we increase exposure at all, we will increase it only in FMCG, IT, media entertainment, some bit of chemicals. We will stay away from metals. We will get out of any remaining positions in autos. We will be actively and eagerly looking post this euphoria settles down to start finding shorting opportunities in financials. Nothing changed except that the bet has come right. I sleep very well tonight.
So you are seeing some kind of, a different set of sectors playing out in the next round, right? That's what you're saying, because all the underperforming sectors, it will be time for them to sort of take the lead now.
Yeah, so those that have been irrationally exuberant and where, the global realities will start hitting them. I see major downdrifts on the charts of copper, aluminium, zinc, even gold, silver. So metal stocks, even if Narendra Damodar Das Moji has got a Purush mandate, cannot defy that gravity. So once this election euphoria is out, it will be business as usual. The commodity businesses like metals, banking, or even NBFCs, they will have their own stresses. So it will be business as usual, except that, like a Rip Van Winkle, those who did not bought into this fear, they will wake up and they'll suddenly come and create, hangama in the markets over the next 4 or 5 days, after which it will be the same game. You have to choose stocks, you have to choose sectors, you have to get in and get out of the get out of the extremely strong and get into the ones that are no longer going to be weak. So 4 or 5 days of sorry.
Yeah. Sorry to interrupt you.
So say 4 or 5 days of mithai eating and garland exchanging and feeling very euphoric is more than enough. Maybe this whole euphoria will get done in next 3 days, post Tuesday. By maybe Thursday settlement, weekly settlement, reality would have come back in, maybe after a huge paradigm shift in price levels.
Fair enough. How about, you talked about, underperforming, I mean, how the sectoral shifts can happen. What happens to the Modi stocks? There he has control, but those are also the stocks that have seen a huge run up. How do you see those playing out in the next round?
Nobody, see, I'll tell you what, these are our inventions. All of us love to speak in euphemisms, so there is a set of Modi stocks. मोदी जी नेवर सेड कि जाकर के आप रेलवे का स्टॉक खरीद लो
मोदी
या
जी ने नहीं
आप
कहा है, लेकिन मार्केट ने कहा है, सीएलएसए ने कहा है, तो फिर देयर इज
तो जिन लोगों ने
a lot of stocks.
तो जो लोग अपनी अपनी कथाएं रचेंगे, अपनी अपनी कथा कहानियां जो लिखेंगे, वो अपना अपना भोग भोगेंगे, राइट? डिड नरेंद्र मोदी सेट कि कभी करेक्शन नहीं आएगा? सो पीपल विल रश इन एंड ब्लेम कि प्राइम मिनिस्टर के कारण स्पेकुलेशन हो गया. स्पेकुलेशन इज बीन डन बाय पीपल. See, today India's market cap already kissed $5 trillion last week. We are gunning for a $5 trillion economic status couple of years down the line. So our market cap to GDP ratio is already 1.4, which is by that Buffett indicator on a stretched valuation. Fine, there is a fast growth happening, but within this, even if our market cap will say maintain 1.4, and by the time we go to $5 trillion, we will be at $7 trillion market cap. 40% यहाँ से market cap पूरा बढ़ेगा, but out of that, what has already got overstretched will continue to overstretch. Is not investing. It's just blind gambling. I think, if the masses will rush into the so-called extremely stretched Modi stocks without applying their brain, and they will get emotional. They did not get rational 3 months before or 2 months before. और अब आके free lunch खाना है, तो free lunch तो कहीं मिलता नहीं. So the pockets, wherever there are euphorias, whether they are labeled as Modi stocks or they are labeled as any stocks, the business is going to be usual.
No, so to be specific, public sector banks, infrastructure, capital goods, railways, what's your take on some of these? Quickly.
See, next 3-4 days, सब कुछ चलेगा. घोड़ा भी चलेगा, गधा भी चलेगा, even elephants will. After 3-4 days, rational will set in again, right?
Sorry, Sushil, I lost you.
I said next 3-4 days, घोड़ा, गधा, हाथी सब उड़ेंगे. But 3-4 दिन की यूफोरिया के बाद, business will return back to its senses.
Right. So this pocket you're saying, infrastructure, public sector banks, defense, railways. I mean, this whole, in fact, all of these stocks have been the leaders of the last 5 years, right? In a sense, last 1 year also, these are the stocks that have really done well. In the next innings, do you see this being the focus, or will we see an entirely different set of stocks drive?
Mahalakshmi, I speak more clearly than any intelligent man should speak. So I'll try that once more. The level of clarity with which I speak is not good for me. And even then, if I manage to confuse people, then I really don't know what to do. What I'm saying is, these so-called Modi stocks have been leading the euphoria. So their euphoria will get consumed first. Stocks that have been non-euphoric, like the IT stocks, like the FMCG stocks, they will continue to rise. Because the sense of goodness, see, liquidity in markets is not just the liquidity of the currency. Market creates its internal currency. The internal liquidity of the market rises from sentiment. So stocks that have had been weak and where, newer green shoots will come, they will go up. Ye euphoria ka completion hai. Stocks that have been already euphoric, their finale will come in the next 3-4 days. I don't think I can speak more clearly.
No, I understood that. The reason I'm saying, no. I don't
believe, and therefore I will not say that the so-called Modi stocks will continue to rise for the next 1 month. I see a euphoria in them doing whatever they have to do in the next 3-4 days. After that, a solid correction in them should come.
Sushil, I get your point. The only reason I ask that again is, there are, like you rightly pointed out, I mean, people have, there are markets and then there are narratives. And a lot of this is being today defended by the fact that, if there is economic recovery, a lot of these stocks, which are right now looking in terms of valuation stretched, right? The earnings could go up very sharply, and therefore they could start justifying valuations. And the other part of the story is also that, you have this extra 1 lakh crore in the form of RBI dividends. So all of this put together, if you are able to make a stronger case for, in a public spending, and there is a faster recovery, it could be the same set of stocks that could see earnings multiply in a faster way. That will sort of, perpetuate this narrative. And I'm sorry I asked that question repeatedly, that because this is
No problems. Mahalakshmi, answer to that is very simple. Markets run on anticipation. That's what
correct.
speculation is. And that speculation is worked out. So there will be new speculation arising when business returns
Right.
to usual. Market
Right.
has been betting for a while that Narendra Damodar Das Modi ji will come back. And that is how these stocks have gone through the roof already. And now that, the buy on anticipation and take your profits when things work out is what is going to play out now. And I'm not seeing that algebra of markets is so simple that when 100% confirmation of the risk comes through that, yes, he is one now, उसके बाद ये stock चलना शुरू होंगे. वो पहले ही चल चुके हैं.
Correct.
तो जो
correct,
लोग,
correct.
I repeat what I often say. You can either be comfortable in markets or you can be profitable. So those who are going to find a comfortable decision, oh, Modi ji has won again, let me go and buy defense, railways, PSUs. He'll lose money. If you wanted to bet on it, you would have taken that bet 1 year ago, 6 months ago, 3 months ago, 2 months ago. Now is the time to take the profits. पेड़ पे फल
Right.
पक गया, उसको तोड़ो और मीठा मीठा आम खाओ.
Sushil, I'm also asking this question because when we spoke last time, also you were talking about two big bets, right? You were talking about FMCG and IT, and these are two large pockets which the government directly has not that much to do, right? Like it is unlike infrastructure where pump priming the economy and public.
I'm sorry, Mahalakshmi ji. Stock market
वही
has 1
ये
billion.
देखो
Stock market has 1 billion variables. Election
हाँ,
is one variable for which the
right,
bets have already been taken.
right.
All the existing bets on election, उनका हिसाब किताब मंगलवार को पूरा हो जाएगा.
अच्छा, उसके बाद it will be the market dynamics that will carry through.
It will be.
Point
It will
taken.
be after that. After that, it will be business as usual. Election का सट्टा मंगलवार को पूरा हो जाएगा.
Correct. तो ये जो themes लोग बोलते हैं कि भाई it is because of this government there are all these themes. It has something to do with policy, but a lot to do with business that is despite the government. Correct?
No, it's not as complicated as that. All of this that you're talking now, that the shrewd players have already taken into account a month ago or 2 months ago or 5 months ago. So these things will be good for writing stories on the newspapers and blogs. The market has written its story already.
So by when do we see 80,000 on the Sensex?
See, getting into these semantics makes things tough. So say, in 2011, when I had written for the Market Association a long article that by 2025 we'll see Sensex going to 1 lakh, 13-14 saal mein. So, 6 months here and there are different things. I think maybe by 2025 we should see a Sensex of 1 lakh. Why only 80,000?
Fair enough. Fair enough. That way we can compound at our growth rate and arrive at a number. But thank you so much, Sushil, for joining me this
My pleasure entirely.
evening.
Thank you for getting me on your special show again.
Not at all. Thank you so much. Over to you, Shweta.
Thank you very much, Mahalakshmi, for that. The explosive words coming in from that conversation with Mr. Kedia, that expect an explosion on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then rationality will return to the markets. Now I have with me Aman Sharma. Aman has been camping in UP and Bihar, and let's take a look at the numbers for Uttar Pradesh, a very important state. 80 seats. It's a very well-known fact that the road to New Delhi passes through Uttar Pradesh. Aman, look at the numbers: 68 to 71 for the NDA, and India Alliance is looking at 9 to 12. So the BJP is hoping to actually gain from the 63 number that it got in 2019. How are we seeing these numbers?
See, Shweta, Uttar Pradesh saw the NDA win 73 out of 80 seats in 2014. That was a historic verdict on the Narendra Modi wave. Mr. Amit Shah was in charge of UP at that point of time, and BJP won 73. The NDA won 73 out of 80 seats, and all the four principal parties in UP at that time, the BJP, the Congress, the SP, the BSP, were contesting separately.
Right.
It's a state with complex caste arithmetic. Come to 2019, the SP, BSP, and the RLD joined hands.
Yeah.
Significantly, they could only bring down the NDA's tally from 73 to 64 seats, a loss of 9 seats. This time, if the NDA is winning 68 to 71 seats, that means it is going near its 2014 tally.
Yeah.
It's adding seats, and Amit Shah, in an interview to, in fact, CNN News 18, Rahul Joshi ji, had made it clear that we will add 5 to 6 seats from our 2019 tally. So it's very clear that that is what the exit poll is also. CNN News 18 mega exit poll is agreeing with what Mr. Amit Shah said, that NDA could end up around 70 seats in Uttar Pradesh. Now, why this is happening? Why is the BJP being able to, NDA is being able to increase its seats from the last time?
Yeah.
There are some specific reasons to that. Number one, the SP and the BSP are contesting separately this time. So there is no caste alliance on the opposition side. In fact, RLD, a key alliance partner in the opposition, has jumped over to the BJP side. This is bringing you BJP gains in Western UP, where it had lost significant seats the last time. So the BJP, RLD together, I think, are sweeping Western UP. That is why this number is coming to 68.
But that's a very interesting development.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And this is significant. That is the reason RLD joined the BJP. BJP was so desperate to get RLD on its side, because Western UP is the area, Shweta, where when the NDA's drop happened from 73 to 64, out of those 9 seats, 7 seats were lost in West UP by the BJP.
Absolutely.
This time, if they're upping the mark by 5 to 6 seats, this means it's a sweep in West UP for the NDA, and that is why 68 to 71 is happening. Out of the India alliance, the number one reason is that, I said, SP, BSP separate, RLD with the BJP. Number two reason, Modi appeal plus Yogi popularity. This is a state where the double engine is effectively running for the BJP. Not just the PM's appeal is there, even the CM remains immensely popular. Both those factors combine into this big performance for the NDA in UP. Third factor, Ram Mandir. 22nd January, we saw the Pran Pratishthan happening. Wherever I traveled in UP, this is the talk in every street corner that jo Ram ko laye hum unko layenge, that popular song.
So the Ram Mandir narrative, the Ram Mandir is actually working.
It's working. Yes, some people said it may not work. It happened in January. It may not happen. No, it is not the case. That underlying feeling amongst the people is there. And that is the reason, I think, you've seen the record number of people visiting Ayodhya every day, 2 to 3 lakh daily people going there. That feeling is very much there. These three factors, I think, free rations, Yogi's bulldozer model,
so law and order is also...
Law and order is a big factor. All these factors have combined. 9 to 11 seats for the opposition will mostly be Samajwadi Party, winning at least 8 to 9 seats in UP, because in certain areas, Akhilesh Yadav is fighting himself from Kannauj. His wife Dimple Yadav is fighting from
So it's a bit of a resurgence for the Samajwadi
resurgence
Party.
for the SP. Last time they had won 5 seats. I think the SP will win 8 to 9 seats in UP this time. 1 seat will be won maybe by Rahul Gandhi from Raebareli. So that explains 9 to 12. We can put roughly, I think, this figure at 70 for the NDA and 10 for the opposition. Nothing for BSP. Of course, Mayawati has been wiped out of UP, and there's nothing for her. But
it's shocking how Mayawati has been wiped out of UP. I think that's a story waiting to be queen. Even in Noida, we've seen Mayawati parks, those elephants. So, what is this? Let's talk about the political fortunes of the key candidates contesting from Uttar Pradesh. There is Smriti Irani ji, where whatever we were picking up was that it's looking like a tight contest for her in Amethi. Does it look like she's going to make it?
It will be a runaway win. I am predicting that Smriti Irani will double her victory margin from last time. This is I think a canard spread by some that she is going to lose, or it's a tight election. Amethi is a walkover for her. She would have even won, I would say, if Rahul Gandhi had contested from there. Rahul Gandhi not contesting paved for a complete walkover for Smriti Irani. She is not losing Amethi. Raebareli also, I think, will be very, very tight for Rahul Gandhi to win. That's the only seat that the Congress stands a chance to win in UP. Akhilesh Yadav, SP will win Mainpuri, SP will win Kannauj, SP will win some seats in East UP, SP may win even one or couple seats in Central UP this time, where, the Yadav family, 5 Yadav family members are contesting, Shweta, in this election. I think all of them, at least 4 to 5 of them will win. So SP will double its tally from 5 to 10. Last time they won 5 seats. This time they could do 10. BSP will go from 10 to 0. And even in the last assembly election, Shweta, BSP just won 1 assembly seat out of the 403 seats in UP. So I think UP is a big success story for the BJP.
Let's also go across to Bhanuchandra Nagarajan, who's joining us, and Gaurav Chaudhary, who has been with us from London. Gaurav, you saw the UP numbers. Any surprises for you there? 68 to 71 seats for the NDA and India Alliance, it's looking between 9 to 12.
That's right. I don't think any surprise, if at all any surprise comes up during the final counting, probably be on the upside for the BJP. For all you know, the exit poll numbers for BJP in Uttar Pradesh could well be an underestimation when the final numbers come out. And as Aman was rightly pointing out, the double engine Sarkar, the double engine government is the most effective and demonstrable in UP. So both Yogi and Modi's magic, if I may say so, was most effective and seen and demonstrated in UP. Perhaps the most seen and showcased in UP, both on the ground as well as among people. And there were multiple factors. One of the factors, of course, was Ram Mandir, which clearly remains a decisive, factor in making people vote for whichever party they want to, which is the BJP in this case.
Right.
And also,
Right, Gaurav. Gaurav, just hold that thought. I'm so sorry to be interrupting you, but I just want to go across to Bodhi also, who's with us from Mumbai. Bodhi, we heard the market voices. We heard Mr. Shah. We heard Mr. K. To repeat their numbers from 2019 or even surpass them. When it comes to UP as an investment destination, Bodhi, and you were in Uttar Pradesh, you met so many industrialists from UP and you met so many lawmakers in UP. What is the sense, what is the vision that we are getting from Mr. Yogi Adityanath on putting UP on the map as one of the states, for to attract a lot of investment in? Because at the moment, a lot of the international investments are going to the southern states and not so much into the northern states. Bodhi, hi, can you hear me? All right. Okay, I think we have full numbers here in right now. We'll go back to Bodhi as soon as we are connected. Aman, what numbers do you have?
Well, Shweta, the overall numbers being predicted by News 18's mega exit poll is that the BJP will be finishing between 305 and 315 seats. The NDA in totality could win 355 to 370 seats. So up ki bar 370 par is for the NDA, not for the BJP, but BJP still will be upping its tally from 2019 when it had won 302 seats.
Right.
The BJP could be winning 305 to 315 seats in these elections. The opposition alliance will end up only between 125 to 140 seats, and the Congress would be winning only between 62 to 72. That is up almost 10 seats from the last time, but too little too late. I think this will not be simply enough. The Congress would only be finishing up with 10 to 15 seats more than the last time. That is also, I think, majorly due to the gains in Punjab and gains in some smaller states like Rajasthan and MP and maybe Delhi and Haryana. But the BJP, the big story, the BJP would be winning 305 to 315 seats.
Big numbers coming in there, Aman. It looks like BJP is going to be surpassing its tally for 2019, which was at 303. Massive headline news at this point. Exit poll numbers indicating a sweep by the BJP, range between 305 to 315. NDA 355 to 370. 370 is a special number for this government, and what can we say? Maybe it's an angel number for this BJP. India Alliance 125 to 140. Congress does not look like it will cross the 3-digit mark. In fact, it's way below that, 62 to 72 seats. Do we have Bhanu Chandar with us? Let me come across to you, Mr. Bhanu Chandar. How are you looking at these numbers? Do you think the exit poll is painting a very optimistic picture, or are these numbers on expected lines?
Shweta, I'm unable to see a screen, but nevertheless, I think you mentioned the number 305 to 315.
That's right.
It's slightly under under my estimate. At least I thought it will be a minimum of 330, but nevertheless, it's still a decent number. And BJP has outdone itself compared to its 2019 mark, so I think they should be pleased with themselves. But I think the whole campaign was based on Labharti politics and Prime Minister Modi's image. I traveled 6,500 kilometers all the way from Delhi to Nagaland and back. And in my interactions with common Indians, normal people, many of them mentioned the rations, PM Awas Yojana, Krishi Samman Nidhi, so on and so forth. Especially when it came to UP, throwing the law and order bit, and also the fantastic infrastructure. Somebody has to travel through Purvanchal Expressway to see it for themselves, because it is on par with like the best roads in the world. So I think that there has been a great amount of work that has been done, especially in UP. I do not know the particular numbers in UP, but overall in India, if you look at it, I think the welfare policies of Prime Minister Modi has been one of the strong points. On the other hand, if you look at the opposition, they never gave a reason for people to vote for them. They generally said that do not vote for Modi, but did not give a reason. So I think there has been a great mismatch between the BJP and the opponents, and I think that's showing in the numbers.
Wow, wow, very interesting insights coming there. I mean, as Mr. Bhanuchandra just mentioned, that the opposition ran a very negative campaign. They kept asking the voters not to vote for Prime Minister Modi, but they did not give a compelling reason for the electorate to vote for the Congress party and the benefits of Labharti politics, welfare measures that have been specifically targeted towards for the beneficiaries. I think these are the 2-3 factors that have already worked for the Modi-led for the Modi government.
See, I think the BJP's campaign, Shweta, was very, very clear. It was on the face of Mr. Narendra Modi that there is a prime minister who's very popular, who's decisive, who's strong, who runs a full majority government, which takes big decisions, be it abrogation of Article 370, be it the bringing of the CAA law, or bringing in the construction of the Ram Temple. On the other hand, you have this motley group of loose alliance, which has been formed purely for political purposes, purely for selfish purposes, to unseat the Modi government. This is the alliance which parties are completely at odds with each other. TMC and Congress are allies in the center, but they're not allies in the state. AAP and Congress are allies in the center, but not in Punjab. So I think the contradictions between the India alliance was very, very clear right from the start. And the entire campaign of Rahul Gandhi was pitched on the issue of caste, that we will do a caste census, we will increase reservation. I think the BJP feel that the country has moved on from these issues. Country has moved on the path of development. Country has moved on another tangent altogether. I would say a new direction the country has taken, and these issues were of maybe a decade, 2 decades earlier.
Right.
These issues may have mattered, not any longer in today's contemporary India. And that is what the BJP's campaign has been all about. And if we see the big states, which are giving the BJP the big numbers, a short snippet if I give you.
Sure.
Uttar Pradesh, of course, 68 to 71 being given. West Bengal, BJP getting 21 to 24 seats, which we are projecting. It's a flip from the last time, where the TMC had got 22 seats and the BJP had got 18. This time it seems a flip. BJP could win nearly 2 dozen seats in West Bengal. There the seats could be rising for the BJP. Also in the state of Punjab, we are projecting BJP to get 2 to 4 seats. Another big surprise, because Punjab, nobody's given BJP a chance at all if BJP wins there.
Right.
The southern states is the big story. This number is rising from 302 to wherever it rises.
Absolutely.
Because of the southern states. Last time, the BJP could win only 29 out of the 130 seats in the 5 southern states.
Right.
This time we are projecting the NDA could win 51 to 64 seats. It almost doubling its tally in the southern part of the country. The unofficial target inside the NDA was 50 plus in the 5 southern states together. If they get 51 to 64, as we are projecting, maybe around 55 seats, that is a big jump which is coming. They are almost doubling their tally from the last time. This is where the gains are coming from. South India is going to be the big success story for BJP in these elections.
It also decimates this whole north-south divide narrative. You know, we've seen southern leaders camping in New Delhi, protesting,